So we're heading towards the finale of Death Battle in this year, and I really want to enjoy it because I do think it'll be a good episode. As such, I'm hoping to be mostly positive about this week's episode of RWBY before the unnecessarily long hiatus. Well, I mean, there was more good than bad, and that's a good thing, isn't it? Alright, so it starts with some boring Atlas scenes of everyone getting tits up, then Oscar tells Hazel the password for the lamp, my throat. Mercury leaves, and then someone shows up to treat Nora, and Penny crashes, and that's your lot, actually. That's it. Details then. We learn that Hazel is a deluded fool who thinks Salem is going to bring about a new world order. And I get it. The person who controls the Grimm, making a world where people no longer have to fear them, is good and all. Or at least I assume he thinks that. I assume he thinks that Salem's going to make sure the Grimm don't attack people anymore. Because if he doesn't think that, then Hazel wants a world where the 4 safe places to live don't exist, and the people protecting humanity also don't exist. In which case, Hazel wants a world of anarchy where the name of the game is We're Fucked. I like to think Hazel's not that far into the field of being a deluded fool, because his whole reason for not trusting Ozpin is that Ozpin got his sister killed, but he trusts Salem in spite of the fact that it was probably one of her Grimm that killed Gretel. And does he like think that Grimm are like animals? Does he not believe all the facts that we know about Grimm? Is he the RWBY equivalent of an anti-vaxxer or of a flat earther, where he's like an anti-anonymity-er? He doesn't think Grimm are an embodiment of anonymity. He doesn't think that they kill despite not needing to. He just thinks they're animals. They're just animals, mate. It's not like Salem has any control of them, or that she couldn't have just... that if she was going to make a world where they don't have to fear Grimm, she could have just done that from the start. It's not like, she couldn't have done that. They're just animals, mate. She needs the power to be able to control all of them at once, mate. Hazel, you're fucking idiots. You absolute moron! You complete balance! And apparently he killed Salem a bunch before joining her, which is neat and all, but she just allowed him to rip her to shreds? Like, are you okay? Or did he do it so he could grab them titties? Every time he killed her, he suspiciously started with a titty grab and ripping her in half. It's not written in my script for this episode. It's not written in this review script, but it's just getting something out of nowhere. So yeah, I would like to think that, I have no way to justify Hazel's train of thought here, because why couldn't he just be an asshole who only cares about revenge and not about the rest of the world, and then he turns good guy because he realizes, oh, I'm a dick, instead of, Salem's gonna bring a new world order, brah, and when she does that, there'll be no kingdoms, no huntsman academies. And then Ozpin's like, oh wait, hold on, because doesn't that mean that there's no safe places to live where people don't have to fear Grimm, and there's also no place where there are huntsmen to protect from the Grimm? And Hazel's like, oh, shut up, mate, shut up, you wanker. Salem's going to make the Grimm not attack people. Oh, yeah, okay, but why hasn't she done that already if she could do that? Oi, mate, they're just like animals, mate. It's not like she has full control over all of them. She needs all their fucking relics to get strong enough to do that, mate. She wants the lamp to ask how she can control all the Grimm, mate. Are you a fucking idiot? Shut up, mate. I went way off track. So Ozpin gives Hazel the password for Jin, and while the show is most likely going to have Hazel ask Jin whether what Ozpin says is true, and then he's going to have like a character arc or something, I'd really like it and find it funny as hell if what actually happens is Hazel goes up and tells Salem, the password is Jin, you say that and she'll pop up, there's one more question left. But, like, what's probably going to happen is he's going to ask Jin a question, and Jin's going to be like, oh, no, everything Ozpin says is true, pretty much, yeah. And then he's going to be like, oh, shit. And he's going to go to Salem, and he's going to say, Salem, Oscar told me the password is Jin. And then Salem's going to try to get Jin out, and then, because he's already asked a question, he'll come up with a 404 error message, because Jin is out of questions, and Salem will be like, he was telling the truth about there being no more questions, and make a silly face. So back in Atlas, May, I think that's her name, says they should go protect Mantle, and Weiss is like, no, but Atlas is in danger! And I'm thinking, May literally just pointed out, Atlas has an entire military, and to your knowledge, the Aesops, while Mantle still has fucking nobody. So if you stay to protect Atlas, then Mantle is guaranteed fucked, while if you go to help Mantle, then Atlas still has most of its protective forces. It's just gonna lose less than 10 people. But then there's that whole thing is brushed away because there is a great scene with Mercury, Emerald, and Tyrion, which is carried by how great Mercury and Tyrion are. And honestly, I'm beginning to like Emerald's turning into a good guy arc, solely because Mercury and Tyrion make it fun to watch. Good scene. I love these two. These two, will they marry me? I don't think they'd be good. I think they'd be very poor lovers. Ren can now see emotions. Okay. It allows him to skip the part of writing where you have to have skill so you can have a character act and feel different ways and convey that in a smart way, and it allows you to skip all that and just have Ren explain how they feel to the audience. Winter and Aesop kick the kids out to do the shit, which, okay, I'm still left wondering if Winter would marry me. Klein shows up. Klein represent! Klein hype! Which is great. He shows up to help Nora, which is one of the best scenes in the episode because it's really sweet and it warms my heart. Klein, I love this man. He's this undersung hero of the series. We got Klein, we got Forrest from last volume, we got Pilot Boy from volume 5, and we got Dwight. I like seeing Klein. I like how Weiss takes the blame for most of it, and Klein's like, no, you don't need to be like that. Such a sweet man. He's like the better version of Pietro. And that's saying something, because I really like Pietro. I like Pietro a lot, and Klein's still better. Actually, I don't know about that. Pietro's really sweet. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know who I prefer. They're both, like, the sweetest. Anyway, I like how Whitley did a nice thing, and Weiss supports him and gives him a hug, and it's like, Whitley respect at last! I find it funny that Whitley did a nice thing for Weiss before Weiss did a nice thing for him. Which is like, they're both very cold to each other, but Whitley, the Chad Whitley, did something nice for the virgin Weiss before she did something nice for him. Then there's a resounding thunk, and we go outside and find, by sheer fucking coincidence, Penny has landed literally right at their doorstep. God, I hope this turns out to be an intentional landing from Watts. Like, Watts predicted Weiss would go to the manor, or Watts sent Penny on a course to land in front of the manor so that Penny could talk to Whitley and get help from Whitley. And it's not just a complete fucking coincidence. And that's the end. The episode was more or less good, but the best part is that Penny isn't a Yamcha pose. Fucking Yamcha Penny. It's funny because Yamcha would actually solo all of RWBY. From like the feats we got from the gods, they're the only ones who could actually hold a candle to Yamcha. But even then, the anime Yamcha still beats the gods because he has scaling to the Ginyu Force. So anime Yamcha easily solos RWBY. I don't know, he solos One Punch Man as well. Now it's not funny.